So I do not know what's going on in the ATP. I just don't have the brand, the bandwidth. So, wish them luck.
Hello everybody, welcome back to The Body Serve. I'm Jonathan.
I'm James.
This is episode 417, area code 4.
Southwestern Missouri. Springfield, Branson. My grandparents went to Branson one time.
Oh.
They have all this, country music stuff.
Is that why they went?
Yes, they were really into country at that time.
Was it
so random?
Was it a festival?
Italian Americans in Rochester who were really into country.
What was happening there?
They have, all these operas and theaters and live music and stuff.
Okay. Monte Carlo just happened.
It did. It didn't go the way I expected, to be honest. A new wrinkle in the Sincaraz rivalry.
Carlos still leads the head-to-head 10-7. At one point, he had won 7 of the previous 8 meetings, but now Jannik has won the last 2, being the ATP Finals at the end of last year, and then now in Monte Carlo. Sinner hasn't really had great results on clay, title-wise, but that seems to be changing.
Yeah, he had one previous title on clay. It was a 250 a few years ago. No big titles, and it felt wrong, right? Because he was so close to winning Roland Garros last year. This is his first Masters 1000 on the surface. Since he returned from his unpaid vacation last spring, Jannik has met Carlos 7 times. Carlos won 4 of them, Jannik 3, and there haven't really been clear patterns.
When I saw that this final was going to happen, my immediate impulse was, oh my god, again? Thinking that we've seen this so many times already this year, but this is in fact the first meeting of 2026.
Right. I was thinking, looking at the Monte Carlo draw, it felt like this slow march toward the inevitable Alcaraz-Sinner final, but I thought Indian Wells and Miami were going to be that as well, and it didn't turn out that way. Carlos seems to have taken a slight dip since winning the Australian Open. He was complaining about wanting to go home and being tired of this in Miami, I believe. Got his wish, back on clay, played Jannik in difficult conditions, lost in straight sets.
It was not a great match. It was not a high-quality match. Carlos had turned things around a bit in the second set, was up a break. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he lost the last 5 games of this match. Are you, in fact, looking to correct me?
Are you looking at me to correct you?
No, carry on. I'm sure the listeners will correct me if need be.
I don't know why you'd want to invite that.
I mean, losing 5 in a row, 4 in a row, it's immaterial. The point is that Jannik won the last handful of games to win this match. Well, there you are on Flash Score. What's the verdict? Yeah, I was right. No?
No.
I was wrong? I was right. Carlos was up 3-1, and the final score was 6-3.
Oh, yes.
The math was not mathing for you just now.
No, my brain looked at this and it looked like it was in another language.
To get to the final, they both spent pretty much the same amount of time on court. They both won their semis in 1 hour and 25 minutes. Sinner beat that guy in the semifinals. Whooped him again.
There's nothing more predictable in tennis right now, actually. It's not the Sincaraz final that's predictable. It's Jannik beating that guy in a semi. He has won the last 8 matches against him, has beaten him in 5 Masters semifinals. That guy will be heading to Munich, plays tomorrow against Kecmanovic on his fucking court. That's his quote. Kecmanovic, who beat him in the round of 16 of Acapulco.
Carlos beat Valentin Vachereau in the semifinals. Another big result for Mr. Valentin. There was a lot of talk at this tournament about the homeboy, the hometown boy, going deep into this tournament.
He's the rare player from Monaco who is actually from Monaco. He grew up there, his family's there. I think they were probably quite wealthy. They were very close family friends with the people who run the Monte Carlo Tennis Club.
So they were just doing the tax sheltering thing from before.
Many generations ago.
Before the child had to
You better
tax
watch
shelter.
out. You better hope they don't have Monegasque ancestry going back to like the medieval times, because somebody will know.
I made a joke. Can we objectify here for a second, or men have been objectified way too much?
Haven't men suffered enough?
The printing
Uh-huh.
that happens with this gentleman.
What is going on? What exactly are you referring to?
It is so pronounced.
It is actually like obscene. What is going on in his pants?
First option for a title of this episode.
I can't even believe you wrote that down, and I can't believe I just said it.
The folks want to know, is there any more room for me in those jeans?
Anyway, Val beat the number 4 seed Musetti, who was last year's runner-up, Hubie Hurkacz, who's here with a new coach, and number 5 Duminor to make the semifinals. His second semi at a Masters event, I believe his third quarterfinal. I mean, the tennis world seems really invested in this guy, right? They want him to succeed.
He's a top 20 player now.
But the big story, of course, is Jannik Sinner winning the last 4 Masters 1000 events. Sandwiched in between, of course, was the ATP Finals. He snatches back the number 1 ranking from Carlos, over 13,000 points, I believe, for the first time in his career. And both of them have about 8,000 more points than the number 3 player.
Who is that guy?
Yeah. I mean, just an incredible golf.
Now, Carlos holds 3 of the 4 slams currently.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not the number 1
Still
ranked
not
player in the world. It calls to mind, I saw a lot of folks talking about this, that incident with one Serena Williams at Wimbledon in a press
I
room.
was just thinking that. Not quite the same thing, but
Because Jannik's won a lot of tournaments.
yeah, and he still holds the Wimbledon title. Since his return from the doping suspension, he has won 8 titles. One of them a slam, bunch of Masters.
Year-end finals. The point here is there's nothing much in it between them. Still.
Yeah, it's still hard to get a read on like where is the momentum in this rivalry. I mean, we have mini momentum going to Jannik, of course, but what does it mean for the rest of the clay season? I have no idea.
What you do want to talk about, though, is Carlos showing up for Jannik's pool dive.
Yes, I'd like to discuss a worrying trend in tennis rivalries. It's too much.
And this too calls to mind Serena Williams. And I think this is instructive for the listeners to understand what you bring to this podcast, because a lot of it is directed and birthed from your fandom of Serena Williams.
Pretty much, yeah. And the WTA golden age in general.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos and Jannik can do whatever they want. They're grown men. Do I like seeing Carlos watching his chief rival jump in the pool with glee after beating him for the Monte Carlo title? No. I'd like Carlos to stand up. I'd like him to go find the Masters on TV and sit there for a while by himself.
By Masters, you mean the Masters golf tournament?
Yes, which he did. He said he was eager to go find the Masters on TV. They're, of course, ahead of us, time zone-wise, so he had plenty of time to watch yesterday afternoon. But, yeah, they love each other, don't they?
They're friends. What's wrong with that, James?
Well,
It seems that they're genuinely friends.
I guess.
And it turns your stomach. It sickens you. It makes you want to throw up.
I would not go that far. But I just like to see a little more fire. I don't need them to hate each other. But I think the Big Three era set unrealistic expectations for the type of quote-unquote gentlemanly conduct we expect from tennis rivalries. In the case of these two, I think they genuinely want to behave this way. They just like each other. And I don't think they have very combative personalities in general.
I think Federer and Nadal was an outlier. I don't think that set the tone for people expecting anything. I think the trope is still rivals should be rivals and they should want to go rip each other's brains out.
But that's not what we're seeing.
No.
That's not what we have seen since that era. Even Serena Williams softened greatly against her rivals as she got older,
It's that-
save a few major incidents.
It's that work-life balance. People realize it's not that serious. They're still gazillionaires at the end of the day. Carlos can still be an advocate for youth yacht ownership. There's no need to be all turned up about it.
Yeah. I also think the risks are too great. That with social media, it's just simply not worth it. Any beef is going to create just days and days and days of discourse, including on this podcast, right? We're going to talk about it. And we say that we want that era back, but I don't know that it's true. I don't know that everybody has the stomach for it. And I don't know that I have the stomach of watching people talk about it.
I think people are suffering from this wanting to be liked syndrome. I think it's very important for a lot of players to be liked, to be seen in a positive way, and to avoid mess and negative press at all costs.
Yeah.
I think it's just not worth it to them to be embattled in this kind of scenario. And to be a rival of Carlos or Yannick, it's only one person who can do it. Either or.
Right.
It's not Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, where a third person is coming in to shift the wig a little bit.
Because here you have a third person who's odious and who is always complaining about the surface and things being rigged in favor of those two, but he's not relevant.
He's only
look how it looks.
He's only the third person in ranking only. He can't do shit against them. What are you talking about? The only third person is Djokovic.
Sure, but I'm saying you have somebody who is willing to be unlikable, but there's nothing charismatic about the way he goes about it, and he's not relevant at the very top level, so what do we have?
He doesn't think he's odious. He doesn't think he's unlikable.
Should I say he's willing to be himself?
Sure.
Which is a lot of what tennis rivalries were about, right? They didn't think they were being horrible. They were just being themselves.
A lot of them knew they were playing a part, a role.
Yeah, like the heel.
Yeah.
Like McEnroe was playing a part. But Kafelnikov, I think that's just him.
Yeah.
But
this guy too desires to be liked.
He does, yeah.
So,
which makes his behavior even more strange. I think you're right. Tennis players are also influencers now, right? They make a lot of money from these brands and they have to behave a certain way, and I think it's just easier for everybody to get along. Now, to be clear, I think that Yannick and Carlos do genuinely get along. I'm not saying that's an act, but I'm saying across tennis, you just don't really see that sort of animosity anymore. Look at Aryna Sabalenka. Every time she steps on a rake, and says something stupid, she's got to walk it back. Every time. Do you want to be her? Do you want to be a number one and also have to go back and say sorry for dumb shit you said in the heat of the moment?
Somebody like Kyrgios could have been that person if he had the work ethic, but I would argue that he is who he is because of his unwillingness to be a better tennis player. That it was easier to fall back on that, and that if he were actually up to the task of being a top tennis player, then he wouldn't have to rely on that for, his place in the sport.
Yeah, I agree. It's part of the package.
Anyway, that's a bit of a digression, wouldn't you say?
Sure, yeah. Somebody who is willing to be himself on court. Daniil Medvedev. Double bageled for the first time in his career to Matteo Berrettini, of all people.
We know that historically Daniil has not done well on clay. He knows this. Everybody knows this.
Right.
But this is taking it to a whole nother level. This is shocking. This is truly shocking.
This is winning 9 points on your serve for the entire match. Be serious.
And then you saw the racket break of all racket. Granted, it was not a successful racket break for much of it.
Which is even more, talk about adding insult to injury.
Now, the video of the racket break was circulated all over the internets. And one such post had a bunch of replies, hundreds of replies, that I thought were typical. They run the gamut. You get every opinion that you could have, every angle that you could take in these replies. Somebody says, double bagel? Trolls would go nuts if this was a WTA match. Blah, blah, equal prize money, blah, blah. Wink. You don't get beat 6-love, 6-love as a top 10 player unless you're a match fixer.
Oh?
And the infantile downward spiral in tennis continues. No, that's not letting off steam or intrusive fans, etc. It's just poor and pathetic sportsmanship and deserving of a hefty fine or expulsion. Call it what it is. Unacceptable. People enjoy this behavior of his, but when someone else does it, they hate him. What a prick. Should be immediately disqualified. I am a fan of all tennis. If you play yourself at any level, you must love the traditions, crazy bits. But I think the tennis gods are crying. I like Medi. He is smart. This outburst, absurd for tennis. I'm old school. Don't want my kids to see. Rafa never broke a racket, I've been told.
I'm going to be quiet about several things in that. What did Brad Gilbert say? I saw his name.
Brad Gilbert said Medi is so lucky that racket didn't jump off the clay into the stands and really hurt someone. Once again, players need to watch Andy Roddick's tutorial on how to throw a racket properly. Maybe Andy Roddick should repost or do another one.
Somebody proofread that tweet for him.
No, I translated it while I read it. You get the people enjoying it. They like to see the outburst, the emotion. You get the people who are puritanical about it. Oh my god, the kids! The kids!
Mm-hmm. The tennis gods. There are no tennis gods. We are alone. Generally, I don't really like to police racket smashes that much, given who my fave is, as you mentioned earlier in the episode. What a hypocrite I would be. You just do have to be very careful that you're not near anybody.
Over in Linz, Austria, newly minted Austrian Miss Potapova made it all the way to the final on the soil of her birth.
Naturalization, yes.
Where she played Mira Andreeva, winning the first set 6-1 before losing 4-6, 3-6. And Mira, we've seen the struggles that she's gone through in recent months. We have seen her flip off crowds, thousands of people telling them to go and fuck themselves.
Including that one lady at Indian Wells who was aghast, shocked.
And after winning, she said, quote, I want to thank myself today again for fighting until the end, for trying to find solutions, for never stopping, and believing until the end that maybe somehow I can turn it around. I think it paid off today as well. Last thanks goes to myself. Again.
This again? This is, thank you, Vanjie. I thank myself. Remember?
You know what? You're feeling your oats. Have your moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it works, it works, you know?
Billie Jean King Cup playoffs were happening, and the most notable thing for me was how Canada failed to get out of those group stages and make it to the finals. In a 3-hour-plus match, Bianca Andreescu hit the most absurd double fault you'll ever see in your life on match point. Like, that ball did not find any part of the court.
I feel bad for her. She's worked so hard to get back to where she is. And now, losing the match is fine, right? That's one thing against Putintseva, but it ended up being the deciding match. And that second serve went in the opposite direction it was supposed to.
I was going to say that it's bad enough that you lose the match, but to Putintseva?
Come on. That's not fair. So the 2023 champion Canada, who has been so great in team events this decade, is out to Kazakhstan and will not go to the BJK Cup finals. The US sent Kessler and Jovic. Not a bad team, honestly, lacking the big US stars, but not a bad team. They lose to Belgium 3-1. Mertens, Minin, and Hanna van de Winkel with singles wins. Didn't see that coming.
To be clear, we're talking about the scammer-in-chief here. Don't pretend like I was so offensive.
Oh.
If it's not one scammer, it's another.
Oh, it's two scammers facing off.
Oh.
Really?
Oh.
You're talking about Putintseva versus Bianca, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a scammer head-to-head. Tete-a-tete.
We had a lot of people reach out to us after our last episode to not necessarily correct the record, but to add context to what we were talking about with Matt Futterman. That he apparently went on another podcast and gave mea culpa, said that his adult daughter whooped him into shape, was so embarrassed.
We thank you.
Okay.
That doesn't change anything we said.
It doesn't.
Don't take it back. I'm glad.
It's also terrible timing for him that this should have happened, because I received an email in our Body Serve email shortly after with somebody trying to have him plug his new book on our show.
I don't know if you're supposed to share those things.
The point
probably
is,
didn't listen to the last episode.
the point is, he has a book to promote. So
Yes.
this was press that he did not need.
But it was good of him to get on top of that quickly and just get through it.
I didn't listen, but I'm told it was a sincere, genuine apology. Hopefully it's a learning moment for him.
Unfortunately, Coco's hair was at the center of yet another controversy. She posted some photos of her on a tennis court with her Miu Miu partnership.
I have never heard of this brand.
Okay, it's a fashion brand.
I saw these pictures, and my honest opinion was, because I'm often just totally unconcerned with this stuff. Like, I don't care about fashion, or like tennis fashion. Do what you want to do, cash those checks. But I absolutely had a positive feeling toward this because it conjured schoolgirl uniform chic aesthetic, which I immediately pinged. It pinged for me. I was like, oh, this is cute. And then she's wearing her hair as a little schoolgirl would.
Right. And you grew up in a country where the girls, well, everybody wore uniforms and might have looked like that.
There were lots of opinions as to who has the best uniform. They were all different. Each school had a different uniform.
So who was it?
I'm not going to say
on
here. It wasn't mine.
Is it that controversial?
It wasn't mine.
Okay.
Definitely wasn't mine. Mine was very boring. Coco puts these photos up, and then I come to hear from you a few days later that she's out here on the internet talking about how people are making her feel like shit again for her hair.
Again, having to come back to TikTok and talk about how hurt she's been and how tough it's been reading these comments. People were roasting her bad. But she is a smart young woman, right? She clocks immediately. This stuff wouldn't happen if she were somebody else, right? There's something about her specifically. Listen, this isn't my lane. It's not my community, but a black woman's hair is a site of contention. A black woman's hair is political, and anything she does with her hair is going to create discourse.
Yeah, well, some of this was black on black crime. She did this TikTok video where she went into the whole background as to how this shoot came about. It wasn't even a shoot. It was just her and somebody in her backyard on her way to her parents for dinner. That was
a sponsored post. She has this partnership with Miu Miu.
So they sent her a bunch of outfit looks. She chose the ones that she liked. She did the pictures, sent the pictures to them. Then they said, these are the ones we like. It's all remote. It's like very, it's very minimalist in terms of the whole process of it. And she said she thought she looked really cute. She really liked it. And then to come and be met with this now, it's just...
Oh, people were, joking that she was wearing her civil rights clothes. And every time someone makes Coco feel this way, I get really upset. It makes me very mad. That she even says things like, I know I'm not the prettiest. Like, that breaks my heart. Like, that you're driven to think that about yourself. That makes me so mad.
I thought she looked fabulous in that photo shoot. The bag, not my bag. I don't get the bag. I don't understand it. But that this happened so soon after what happened in press is unfortunate for Coco. But it also gives a fresh, immediate reminder that this is something that she deals with all the time. It's not something that most other people have to think about, but it's there for her all the time.
Let it be a learning opportunity.
We covered what happened this week in tennis. Last week, Charleston came to a close, and the defending champion defended. The first offer of equal prize money at the WTA 500 level, Jessie Pegula put her hand up and said, I will take it.
The tournament director is Bob Moran. He is the TD for Cincinnati as well. Just as a quick recap, Charleston this year offered the same prize money as the base prize money of ATP 500s. It's the first WTA tournament to do that. More will do so in the future. And this was fully funded by the tournament sponsors. Bob Moran said that the prize money increase has been more than paid for by new partnerships, by ticket sales. He said, quote, "I'm not going to subsidize prize money where I'm losing money on this event. To break even is not our goal. We want to continue to grow the event, make more money, and the more money we make, the more is going to go back to the players." Okay, save your capitalism. But I'm glad it's going back to the players.
They must be making a lot of money at this tournament because we know these capitalists aren't like, well, the players, we have your best interest at heart first and foremost. We're going to line your pockets first at a ratio that is favorable to you and not to us.
This is an owner that made his fortune on debt collection. So I would say...
Navarro.
Yes. It's not the most altruistic way to make your money, but is there an ethical way? But Charleston, they do the fan experience right. Their signature cocktail is really good, by the way. Their improvements to the main stadium have not ruined the experience, right? It's still a relatively intimate stadium. There are so many good vantage points. The tournament grounds themselves are very accessible, fun, beautiful.
The reporting you just mentioned is Ava Wallace's, who is now at The Athletic.
Yes, I'm so glad to see her land at The Athletic. She was at the Washington Post for many years. As you know, the Post no longer has a sports department, unfortunately. But Charleston has also been successful, and Ava mentions this in her piece, because they left ESPN for Tennis Channel quite a while ago. And Tennis Channel has given live coverage from the first ball to the last ball, and they've set up a TC studio, like a booth, on that main, what do they call that?
Pathway.
Yeah, near the fountains.
Yeah.
They have a real presence there.
That's where I saw Sloane Stephens in crutches doing press at that TC station before she went on to win the US Open that summer, 2017.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Wow. What a year.
Pegula did not win this title easily. I know we had said on the previous episode that she was the favorite, that this tournament was hers to win and hers alone because Rybakina wasn't there. Mm-hmm. We were joking about that. But she went through many sets to get this title.
She had to tussle.
3 hours against Putintseva, 3 sets against Cochereto, 3 against Schneider, 3 against Jovic, before she finally beat Starodubtseva 6-2, 6-2 in the final.
Starodubtseva notably beat Sarasua, Kessler, and the number 5 seed Madison Keys to reach the final. Keys, of course, is a former champion here in Charleston. Yulia has been playing well, kind of all over the map. She's played 125s, ITFs, slams. She qualified and reached the third round of Roland Garros last year, round of 16 in Madrid. She qualified for Australian Open and Miami this year and is now at a career high ranking of 53.
This was Pegula's second time defending a title. Do you know the other time? Oh, that was a question for me.
That's a question to you, actually. Do you know the other time she defended a title?
Do I know the other time that Jessica Pegula defended a title? No, I don't. What of it?
She did it in this country.
Oh,
she
Canada.
won back-to-back Canadian Opens.
Oh.
I honestly forgot she won 2.
Bottom line is this is a great start to the season for Pegula. She wins Dubai, wins Charleston, and quarterfinal losses to Rybakina during the Sunshine Swing. Both of them, Indian Wells and Miami. Semifinal loss also to Rybakina in Australia. The only person other than Rybakina who's beaten her this year is Marta Kostyuk in Brisbane.
Peggy's podcasting partner, Des Kravchik, won the doubles title at Charleston with Katie McNally. That's doubles title number 13 for Des, and her second Charleston win.
At the Houston U.S. Clay Court Championships, Tommy Paul beat Burruchaga. Burruchaga was ranked 77, and this was his first ATP final. He'd previously won the Sao Paulo Challenger on clay in March over Jaime Faria. Francis continued his good run of play at this tournament, losing to Tommy Paul in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm. In Marrakech, the Spaniard Rafa Jodar beat number 117 Marco Trungelliti. Do you remember him?
I remember the name. I thought he was retired.
No. He is the second oldest man in the Open era to make his top 100 debut. And the oldest man to have done that happened way back in 1973, the 45-year-old Torben Ulrich. Trungeliti became kind of famous in tennis circles way back, I think it was 2017, Roland Garros. He had to drive like 10 hours from Barcelona to Paris.
Oh, that was him.
And he beat Tomic in the first round, I think. Here in Marrakech, he beat Darderi in the semifinals, who was actually tied with Cerundolo for the most clay match wins since 2024.
Side note, Darderi has clearly figured out that he's hot, or that people think he's hot, because he's started to up the thirst trap
Oh, yeah.
quotient crazy.
Yeah, he's really started to lean into it.
Jodar is one of the next-gen babies from last year.
Oh, okay. Over in Bucharest, Romania, Mariano Navone beats Merida of Spain. This is the second Spain versus Argentina final of the week, and actually the third Argentine man in a final last week. This one went to Argentina. Imagine winning something called the Jan Tiriac Open.
Because Jodar won the other one.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
The Spaniard.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite the thing to put in your trophy case. Nobody cares, to be clear.
No.
Nobody cares.
These guys probably don't even know who he is.
It's Navone's first title after two previous final appearances, coming in Rio and Bucharest in 2024. So he'd made this final before.
Yes. Merida won 2 qualifying matches to get into this tournament because he was only ranked 136. He didn't qualify outright. These were, in fact, his first match wins on the main tour.
Arina Sabalenka pulled out of Stuttgart. People were like, okay, I guess this is her new schedule, her new way of doing tennis now. You know, picking her spots.
Yeah.
And then she showed up on social media with a freshly done face.
She did, you know, there is like the Radvanska makeover that they all get every once in a while. And, you know, good for her.
I mean, who among us wouldn't like to have the resources and the time to be able to schedule or work?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I might...
Literally, or work and then our work.
I might choose to spend the money differently. Speaking of work, I don't know if Justin Trudeau's doctor is here in Canada, but that man is 54 years old, dressing like a college student, and looking extremely fresh.
Okay.
54. Did you see his picture with Katy Perry at Coachella?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly enjoying himself. He did his time. I know.
It's his time as prime minister. Yeah. You know, if you can live your adolescence over again, who wouldn't?
The tennis coaching carousel is in full rotation again. It's in full swing, and we've got some news.
I mean, we don't have news. It's old news at this point. But Francisco Roig joins Iga Swiatek's team as the new coach after she left Facet. Roig was working with Giovanni Pecci Pericard, who apparently found out through his agent that Roig had left and is now working with Iga. Giovanni said, "He didn't inform me directly. I thought I could trust his words. To throw all that away so quickly, it's a shame. It's a ruthless world. I'd never seen that before." And, I mean, this is very trashy behavior, like very unprofessional behavior by Francisco, if this is true. To be very clear, this is not a criticism of Iga. This has nothing to do with Iga. This is fully tacky by Roig, and Roig alone.
And then we see Iga show up at Papa Rafa's academy to try and get her mojo back.
Yeah. She said she had made the decision to go to the academy even before the coaching thing happened. Okay, whatever.
There's video of Rafa and Francisco on court with her, and Rafa is giving her instructions. Mm-hmm. He's giving her a tutorial on the forehand. You
know that Rafa is her hero. If she's going to listen to anyone aside from Daria, maybe it will be him. The weirdness sort of the ending of the Facet relationship was that it became clear she was communicating more with Daria than her actual coach on court. And that's fine if, like, that's what they want, but I don't know where that leaves you as a coach. He did an interview, and there were some things said about language, and I just want to say I implore people to read between the lines here, because we're not talking about English as a second language. That's not what was being said by Wim. He's just way too professional to say what he really meant.
Also, it could just have been, like, tennis language.
Yeah, like, it wasn't like Iga doesn't understand English. That's not what he was saying. He was saying she was hearing things for the first time that maybe she didn't want to hear. Or maybe her team that she's worked with for many years weren't telling her.
Okay. And then Facet ends up joining Ubi Urkac.
Listen, I was positive this was an April Fool's joke. Because the news came out on April 1st. And I was like, yeah, don't believe that.
Well, the April Fool's joke, coaching-wise, came from who? John Horn? Who said that Milos Raonic was joining Vicky's team.
Yes.
Vicky Mboko.
And he also said that Milos's brother did her wisdom teeth or something. Or her cousin. I don't know. I hate April Fool's Day so much. Anything I read that day, I was like, wait until tomorrow. See if the news is reported anywhere else.
Urkac, for his part, has recently completed his review of all the women umpires in tennis. And he's submitted his findings as to who's acceptable to continue umpiring in tennis.
Yeah. Alison Hughes is still on the shit list, right?
There was another title defense in tennis.
In tennis?
Well, tangentially in tennis. Rory McIlroy won the Masters again. Of course, the tangentially here is that he once was engaged to Caroline Wozniacki, and then the entirety of the tennis world and others despised him afterward for how he allegedly ended that engagement.
And it comes up every time Rory is in the late stage of a tournament on tennis Twitter.
He has a 6-shot lead after the second round, goes on to blow that lead completely, so much so that after a ridiculous, lazy, not concentrating properly double bogey early in the final round, he's down by 3 shots. Down by 3, he eventually wins it. Before that final round, he said that he was going to prepare by watching the Monte Carlo tennis. He said there were 2 great semifinals that were going to be happening. He said that after the second round. That Saturday morning, he was going to watch Monte Carlo semifinals and then go play a middling round of golf.
He took inspiration from the wrong semifinalist. Brave of him to talk about tennis unprompted, because Caroline still has shooters after all these years. She's remarried, has kids. I should say just married. They never married. Famously, he dumped her after the wedding invitations had already been printed.
She, in fact, does have a shooter. His name is David Lee. He shot very well from the field in basketball, actually. Well over 50%.
Oh, okay.
How many people are out here really caping for Caroline?
Who cares?
Like that.
Really, who cares? I like Rory, but I am under no illusions. Like, it is very dangerous to like any golfer. They're even more conservative than tennis players, somehow.
I feel like you're a little bit safer if they're not an American golfer. Probably still the same, but there's one truism in golf, and that if it's not David Duval, then you are a Republican.
And not in the Irish way. You are generally MAGA.
They are quite literally the most conservative demographic of people that probably exist in the world.
In the world?
In the world. Like, I'm serious, they've been...
As far as athletes go.
There have been surveys done whereby it's like 95% Republican.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And that there's only been maybe 3 to 5 known Democrats who are even willing to speak publicly about this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
You know, but
I want to ask you, when is it that you became a fan of Rory McIlroy? Is it when he starts to get swole? Is that it?
Probably, yes. And it sure beats the alternative, right? Tiger Woods is, I don't know how many DUIs that man has had at this point.
He's on the phone with the president.
Exactly. Like, this is the alternative, right? Our great American champion is literally calling Donald Trump while getting arrested. For what? To obstruct justice? May I ask? To call in special favors? I thought we were draining the swamp. Remember that? God, that was so long ago.
We got an FMK from our FMK supplier, Shola. And this one's a little bit different. It's not thirst related. It has to do with 3 prominent WTA players and their careers. Would we FMK Davenport, Hingis, or Sharapova's careers?
Yeah, this is such an interesting question. Because what are the criteria? I actually made a chart. But you don't have to follow it. It was just for me to remember what they did in their careers. But also, what does it mean to marry somebody's career or F it?
Well, I know which one you're killing.
Do you?
I do know. I do. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I actually didn't decide. I only made the chart.
You haven't decided.
No. It's a really hard one.
Well, Hingis has the most weeks at number 1 by a wide margin. She and Sharapova have the most slam titles with 5 compared to Lindsay's 3. But Lindsay has the most career titles, 55, followed by Hingis with 43 and Sharapova 36. Then you wanted to go and break down into the head-to-heads with some of their biggest rivals. And the only thing that really jumps out as being unfavorable to somebody is Maria's 2-20 record against Serena.
Yeah. Davenport retired with 14-13 over Venus, 4-10 versus Serena, 14-11 versus Hingis. I think those are some really nice head-to-heads that she can hang her hat on. She was a really tough out for Venus through all of the eras.
I'm gonna have to kill Sharapova's career because I'm not dealing with all those injuries. If I'm imagining myself as that person, one of the worst things I can imagine as an athlete is to have to go through extended periods of rehab and pain and surgeries and uncertainty. I don't want that for myself. Set aside the 2-20. Set aside how I actually felt about her while she was playing. She accomplished way more than I thought she was ever going to do.
Yeah.
That pivot to clay, wow, what a moment for her. Hingis, I'm going to have to F that career.
Okay.
Because she was that girl for a moment in time. That 1997 season, iconic. And even when it wasn't, that failure at Roland Garros itself was iconic. Iconically bad. Against Eva Maioli. And then she also had other moments of just dastardly diva-dumb mess on court. And so I fuck with that on some level. There was a lot of it that I did not like. Living through it, I did not like Martina Hingis at all.
No.
At all. Like what she would do to my faves, did not like it. The way she treated Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, did not approve.
And it's an example of a personality we probably won't get again because it's simply not wise to be like her in this day and age.
And when I say the way she treated her, I meant the way she played against her. I don't mean like...
because that could be said about other people.
But also she had like mix-ups with Arantxa in doubles and Yana as well.
And Kornikova. Famous falling out. Okay, so that's the F. Is the Sharapova your kill?
Yes, and the marry is Davenport. Like, just set aside the beads.
Oh.
If one can. At this point in our lives.
Look it up.
She's continued to have a career in tennis. She's a commentator. She is a relied upon voice in tennis that is not one to great. And I don't mean in terms of the sound of her voice. I mean in terms of what she says. She manages to inform without inciting violence. She's a reasonable person to listen to.
And extremely fair to her former rivals. And empathetic even.
The 55 titles, love it.
The return to number 1 in 2005. Truly impressive.
And she lost that 2005 Wimbledon final, so that is a big plus in her favor, for me.
One of the greatest all-time matches.
Because if she had won that match, I don't think I'd be saying that right now.
Okay, to be fair, the question was not about someone's commentary career. This is about their tennis career only, right? Okay,
but I'm saying that's part of her tennis career. It's a part of her life in tennis.
It's a stretch.
For me, that's how I choose to interpret it.
Okay. Let me start with Hingis. That's a career I would F. This was tough because 209 weeks at number one feels like a marriage. Feels like something you would really commit to. 3 Australian Opens in a row, starting as, a 17-year-old. She looked to be on track to have an all-time career. And if we're being honest, I think we need to be honest, it wasn't one. I think many expected her to achieve way more. And she was consistent. She reached finals well into the 2000s. She was challenging because the story is that, the Williams and Lindsay, they bashed her off the court. She couldn't compete anymore. I don't think that's the case. She had a lot of injuries. She had catastrophic foot injuries in the early 2000s. Sure, she did not have the power of those other women, but she was there. She was still reaching major finals and competing.
Okay, but I watched her career. She was absolutely dealing with the cumulative effect of big babe tennis. Whether or not that directly led to her injuries, or whether the injuries prevented her from being able to adapt and become better at dealing with it, I don't know. I don't know what the correlation is there. I just know that to win a slam, you need to win 7 matches. And come the 4th round, quarterfinals, you're having to beat 3 of them in a row. Like, she was fatigued. She had big babe tennis fatigue syndrome by the end of her first career. And you could tell that this was somebody who could easily go around the world and win smaller tournaments, win even big, smaller tournaments. But when it came to the grind of beating these top, powerful women, maybe she'd be able to sneak 1 or 2 here or there. But now you have Capriati.
Right. Now you held 4 championship points against Capriati in Australia.
And then Kim is coming and Justine is coming. Like, I'd be snorting cocaine too.
What? Oh, wow. That was in career number 2. And then she had a career number 3. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So
I really like the career number 3. The doubles.
Yeah.
With Mirza and all that. Yeah.
So I would F this career because, like you said, there were a lot of... It's flashy, right? And she is, one thing you didn't mention, a generational hater. Like, rarely we've seen. I'm going to diverge here. I would marry Sharapova's career. You may be surprised, but I'll explain.
Tell me.
A career Grand Slam, to me, it's just too much to pass up. Her longevity, her not... I wouldn't...
Longevity?
Well, given what happened with her shoulder, yes. Sure, it was a 15-year career at the pro level, roughly.
Time off for injuries and suspensions.
I would call it longevity, given her serious injuries to her serving shoulder.
Would you read your emails personally?
I would read them for her. This is a marriage, this is a partnership. To be clear, I'm not marrying her, just the career. And I wouldn't call it versatility, but her ability to make it happen on clay is something that contributed to her long-term success.
Adaptability.
The 2 and 20 versus Serena stands out. It's a sore thumb, but given the alternatives, this would be the career I would marry. This is the one of the 3 that I would want to retire with, because I think a career slam, it just puts you over the top to me. Davenport is my favorite player among these, so it really, really hurts to put her in the kill career column. It's only in comparison. A super impressive career, 55 titles. Like I said, the return to number 1 toward the end of her career, that Wimbledon final against Venus, these favorable head-to-heads, all great, but unfortunately only retired with 3 slams. And so if I'm looking at which career would I want to marry, it's going to be Maria's.
Oh, okay. I mean,
And also just the long-term cultural impact is something that the other 2 didn't have.
If you could go back to your former self 10 years ago and play them this segment, what would they say?
Play that. I don't think they'd like it. I don't think any of them would like it.
For me, the calendar year, the career slam thing, it's been diluted for me.
Okay.
Especially when it's just...
A lot of women have it.
It's been diluted.
But guess who doesn't have it? Hingis or Davenport.
Okay. I really liked what Davenport went through in her career against so many different players and eras.
Mm-hmm.
She played a lot of people and played a lot of people well. And you could say that she was probably one of the first big babe implementers.
Oh, yeah.
That she ushered a new style of tennis in. That she was one of the architects of it. Her imprint on the game, can that be measured by numbers? Don't know.
Interesting. You don't have to sell me.
I'm just shocked that you're marrying Sharapova.
Yeah. Full of surprises.
That brings us to the end of episode 417. My name is Jonathan. You can find me on Blue Sky at Tennis John.
I'm James at ElliotJMR.
2 L's, 2 T's. Everything BodyServe related can be found at linktree.com/thebodyserve. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.
Thank you very much.